Hello everyone, welcome to the session on classification problems. I'm Prasanna. In this session, we will be discussing few example problems and figure out which classification can be used. So let's take the first example. Let us consider 6 types of car reviews, also cars created from the automobile maker C1, C2, C3 to C6, and there are totally 1200 labeled car reviews, which means that say this review is going to be for C1, review is going to be for C2, so it is labeled. So each car type would have 200 reviews. So the first problem would be figure out the reviews which belongs to the car type C2. So let's draw the diagram. So we are going to here identify the reviews of car type C2. So the other reviews C1, C3, C4, C5, C6 are denoted as C0, CO, just the other car reviews. So you can see here two classes are involved, and we have to determine if it is the car review C2 or not. So you can, in other words, you can say if the car review is C2, yes, it is not the car. Second type is it is not the C2 car review. So you can see here the type of data set used here would be not balanced because C2 has 200 reviews. The other car reviews C1, C3, C4, C5, C6 all will have, say for example, 1000 reviews. So it is not balanced. So C2 has less, CO, that is other car reviews, has more reviews. So it is not divided equally, so it is skewed proportions. Therefore the data set is called as skewed or imbalanced data set. And if we try to apply SVM approach, what type of SVM would we use? Of course, here we have two classes and we have divided by the single line, so it's a single binary classifier as we don't have more than two classes. But let's look into the other next problem. If we have, say for example, the similar car reviews C1 to C6, but in this case we have to figure out reviews of each car type. That means it's not only C2 but all the 6. So which type of SVM can be used here? So it will be either 1 versus 1 or 1 versus rest. So C2 against all the other classes. Similarly, C1 against all the other classes, C3 against all the other classes, C4 against all the other classes, C5 against all the other classes. In this case, you can see this is 1 versus rest, and 1 versus 1 is C2 against C5, C2 against C1, C1 against C3, etc. So these are the two different approaches we can use. So of course, the data set type which is used here for this question, the answer is clearly balanced data set because each car reviews C1, car reviews C1, car reviews C2, C3, C4 all will have equal number of 200 reviews. Yeah. And finally, the last problem is how many classifiers needed for this 1 versus 1 approach. It is given by the formula k into k minus 1, that is k denotes the number of class labels. We have totally 6 class labels C1 to C6, and therefore it will give out 15 binary classifiers as output. Yeah. This is the last problem. So here we discussed about the different example problems and how do we do the applied thinking to determine which type of classifier should we use and which type of data set is available for the problem. Yeah, thanks for listening.